and angels, obviously, opening the curtains to reveal the imperial bride. And wonderful Serre vases on the chimney piece there. And here is the chimney piece, and it's Retour d'Égypte. There's Egyptian style terms holding up the shelf. And then looking through into her bathroom. And so this is the beautiful bathroom that Joséphine had planned for herself and didn't get to use. And on the right, do you see the right-hand chair? Behind that, there's that white, weird-looking white thing. That's the linen. That's for her dirty linen. And it's rather beautiful. And that's actually got Mary Louise's monogram on it in gold stitching. It must have been made in rather a hurry. And the bathroom, as you can see, is white. And it is rather a dream. And last time I went, we weren't allowed to go in. I had to just take this photograph. But I went I checked, and it was 2007. And did manage to take some photographs, and it was on a guided tour. And they were very cross, and you were not allowed to take any photographs. And so I had to do it rather surreptitiously, so they're not very good. But basically, the whole room is draped in white silk. And then there are sets of white silk curtains that are parted to reveal a mirror and a fireplace here, and then a bath alcove and the door into the room. And it is top lit. It's right in the middle of that weird Gabrielle plan, and that triangular plan. It's in the middle of all that. And so I think this is one of the most beautiful rooms in the world. And here's a fantastic chest of drawers and a bit of Sèvres. And then here, looking back through to the bedroom, you see more curtains parted, looking through to the bedroom. And then here is the bath alcove. And so the bath alcove is completely mirrored. You see it's even got a mirrored ceiling. And then the bath itself, and the bath, you can't really see it here because there's a cushion sitting on top. And so you would remove the cushion and then take off, I think, or raise up, probably it's hinged or something, a mahogany top. Probably it's hinged and it's got a mirror. I don't know how it works. Never seen it open. But, and in you pop. But so it's either a seating alcove or that. Isn't it fantastic? And then here, looking again into the bathroom, you see straight ahead, and then this is her sort of grandest reception room. So it's quite interesting that the grandest of her 3 salons is actually next to the bathroom. Isn't that funny? But I think the bathroom is meant to be, bathroom and boudoir. So sort of, I suppose that makes a bit more sense, does it? And anyway, and here it's all, and Napoleon, when he started the empire, he'd written out all the statutes of the imperial house with all the regulations of who was allowed to, a chair with a back and who was not, who had to sit on a stool instead. And so all of these reception rooms always have these armies of stools. And here's the painted ceiling in that room, and the chandelier. And then here there's these chairs, and then on the backs, of course, it's actually a letter J for Joséphine. And presumably, it's done, it's a cornucopia, So it's, presumably Mary Louise arrived and sort of saw those, and probably she didn't really think, oh, that's a letter J, that's because of the old one. She probably just thought, oh, that's a cornucopia. But if she'd asked, I suppose Napoleon would have just said, oh, no, it's a cornucopia. Are you crazy? You think that's a J? And here, looking back the other way. I'm sorry, I find these rooms absolutely beautiful. And then this is the second salon. And all the decoration was done, all the painted decoration was done by a studio called Dubuis and Redoute. And so Redoute, the Redoute of the firm, was like the cousin or the brother or the nephew or somebody of the flower painter Redoute, who had been employed by Joséphine at Malmaison for years, painting all of her flowers in her famous greenhouse and doing these incredible books. And so here there are these 6 painted panels of lilies, or not lilies, but liliaceae, whatever, some sort of lily-like plant, from the Redoute book, painted on a big scale. They're sort of rather extraordinary, really, these huge botanical panels. And then these wonderful tapestry-covered chairs with lilac backs. Aren't they wonderful? And they're painted with a tiny bit of gilding, you see, which shows that it's the more informal room. Here's another of those. That's a Crown Imperial, I think. And here one of the chair backs in there with these botanical needlework covers, and all different, which are rather fantastic. And now here's the third salon, which has this blue silk on the walls and blue silk covered stools, etc. So elegant, I think, these rooms. I think they're fantastic. I love the way that the decorative scheme is so simple, really. Anyway, now this is Mary Louise's dining room, supposed to be Joséphine's dining room, which is fantastic, isn't it? And it's got these scagliola walls, which are done to look like a sort of sienna marble. And it's just wonderful. And you get these scagliola walls like this, very rare. There are ones in Malmaison, of course, but there aren't many in France. You get them more in Italy. And the leopard rug, which we saw one in the Grand Trianon, didn't we? What else? And here are the curtains, which are wonderfully simple, just white with these double red borders, and a fantastic ceiling. And here's a detail showing one of the Jacob chairs matching the ones in the other dining room we saw at the beginning. And these wonderful walls. And look at that door, and do you see the hinges? You can just see a hinge in that sort of, the curved moulding between the mahogany door and the stone painted frame. There's a tiny little interruption, which is a hinge, which you cannot see. And the engineering of all this is so absolutely brilliant, I think. Scagliola walls, and there's a detail of the carpet, which obviously is brand new, it was done quite recently. And here's a detail of that scagliola door, scagliola jib door, and you can just see there's a keyhole directly in the scagliola. I mean, it's just so beautifully done. No, it's not trompe-l'oeil, it's scagliola. It is plaster and marble dust and paint mixed together. But anyway, here is Napoleon at the end of the ballroom gallery. And so this is a complete Napoleon interior. And then these sculptures of him and his mum facing each other were not placed there by him. They were given to Napoleon III by Elisa Bacciocchi's kind of granddaughter or somebody. But there is Napoleon with the length of the gallery, and then these rather wonderful sofas added by Louis Philippe in 1830 something. And here a detail of the doors and reliefs over the doors. These are the fantastic colours. And then here is Madame Mère, Napoleon's rather alarming mother. Actually, maybe she wasn't alarming. Maybe she was just a sweet old lady, who knows. But this is the famous sculpture of her by Canova, which the original is in the Duke of Devonshire's sculpture gallery at Chatsworth. And this is a copy made at the same time, more or less, but I think that Canova's thing maybe was borrowed by Elisa for her sculpture factory, and copies were made. And so, but the original, before becoming the Duke of Devonshire's property, was shown at the Salon in the Louvre in 1808. And here is Napoleon on the left, presenting a medal to one of his artists. And then on the right, Joséphine holding, do you see that sort of beige shawl, looking so simply dressed, you know. There's the empress of the French, look at her. And then Hortense Beauharnais, Hortense, the wife of, who was she the wife of? Louis, I think. She was the Queen of Holland and the Prince of Holland, you see. And so at this stage, of course, Napoleon's still married to Joséphine, still without an heir. And so I suppose maybe the Prince of Holland was the heir at that point. And so there's a little boy being carted around. And look at his outfit, isn't that marvellous? Yeah, so that's quite fun. And behind Napoleon, you see, is the statue of Madame Mère by Canova, which was shown at the salon. So I was rather pleased to find that. I think that's quite fun. And here is a detail of some paintwork, some trompe-l'oeil mouldings on the door frame in that ballroom. Isn't that beautiful? Really fantastic. And then here we're finishing up at the bottom of the stairs on this beautiful, Gabrielle staircase, this metalwork, and then the torchère added. I think that is designed by Percier Fontaine, I think. And here's a detail of that, which is again rather beautiful. So I think that's all we've got today. That's all we've got. I'm sorry about all those comments, weren't they weird?